Oh, buddy, here we are again, drafting on Underdog already. So we're gonna hop in this is the little board, little bitty board, little board, and I'm honestly a little bit disappointed because we had the 12th pick the last time we did one of these drafts, and now we have the 11th pick. So I don't know how different this is gonna be. Although we do have Puka coming off at the 101. And if you like best ball drafts in February, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to make this more of a redraft best ball focused channel, with the Dynasty Roundtable being the Dynasty channel. That if you want to check out my Dynasty content, there will be some of that on this channel, but most of that is going to go to the Dynasty Roundtable channel. So like, subscribe over there, like, subscribe over here. If you're liking it, want more of it, what's better than drafting in fantasy football? I mean, come on. That's what I'm saying. So we are 5 picks away. Am I just going to be overweight on Malik Neighbors? I don't know. I might have to go chalk here, depending on what happens. Maybe I get Achane. Maybe I do. That would be my preferred way of doing business, I think. Or if Amon-Ra or CD somehow slips to the 11 spot, which is probably not going to happen. So St. Brown, 2 picks away. We'll throw CD in there. It's not going to happen, but we can hope. We can want good things to happen, and of course it doesn't happen. I mean, a chain, I can never, I want to say a Chan, but it's not. I don't think that's right. A Chan, one of them. That would be getting him, and so James Cook goes. So let's do it. Let's click the button on Devon Achane here. Getting him in Neighbors would be sick. Or maybe starting with Ginty and Achane would be good too. So McBride goes. So we're gonna get somebody we like here. I do like Omari and Hampton as well. That wouldn't be bad. So Neighbors does come off the board here. Let's I also like Jeremiah Love. I think he's going to be a first round pick by the time it's all said and done. Let's be boring. Let's go Genty. Start RB. I kind of like that start. Now we're going to have to get busy on wide receivers in the next. Okay, I have to fix the draft board. GD it. God damn it. There we go. Sorry about that. Close some tabs. There we go. That looks a little bit better, I think. So there's the draft board. I'm going to move myself. As you can see, I am a very prepared individual for this kind of stuff. I always forget that you have to display the draft board. So there you go. I don't know why I forget that. Probably because I'm an idiot, but that's just one working theory that I have. So as you can see, Malik Neighbors and Jeremiah Love at their ADPs, and Omari and Hampton there. I think those are 3 players that we are going to be talking about in 2027 that are going to be first round picks. They might even be first round picks later in best ball season. You know, that those 3 guys I got my eye on. I don't love the fact that Matt Nagy's going to be the offensive coordinator with the Giants. To me, that doesn't seem very nice, because as a Bears fan, as you can see right here, Matt Nagy and I, I've never really been a fan, even though he won Coach of the Year that one year. So we are gonna have to get busy at wide receiver. So we're gonna have to put some wide receivers in the queue. Preferably some wide receivers we could stack later on. Let's do that. Let's look at wide receiver. I kind of like Tedero McMillan. Kind of like Lad McConkey. Don't like Garrett Wilson. No, I do not. I don't know why Devontae Adams can't catch just a million touchdowns again. Luther Burden, Emeka Egbuka, both interesting picks. Both would have a lot of upside. Jalen Waddle's going to be the only guy there, and then we kind of get into some rookies. And looking at quarterbacks. So Joe Burrow is down there at 65 overall. But we're not going to get T. Higgins, are we? No, T. Higgins is still there. That feels like a good pick if he's available. And then we can stack him with Joe Burrow a little bit later. I'm honestly surprised by some of the running backs that are still available. All right, so our dreams of getting T. Higgins are dead. We know Bryce Young's going to be the quarterback for the Panthers. He's going to be really easy to get. So I think Tedero McMillan is the way I want to go. So rookie of the year. And then I do think there's McConkey in that new offense is going to be a player that you're going to want. That I think he's going to rise up the ranks a little bit, considering also that, Keenan Allen's not going to be there, most likely. So it should be the Lad McConkey show. So Jameson Williams does go off the board. I think I'm going to go with Lad McConkey. So we get two nice wide receivers to pair with those running backs. I like that. And we're going to have to, with this kind of build, depending on who's available at running back a little bit later on, we could definitely stick with 4 or 5 running backs. I would prefer 5 just because super, super fragile is risky, but I don't mind it with these two because we're banking on those 2 running backs staying healthy, producing, 30-point games every other game, hopefully. That's what we're banking on. So I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. This is a work in progress as far as I'm displaying this. Like, do you want to just see the draft board? Do you want to see me putting people in the queue? I don't know. You let me know what you think would be good. So we have to put Bryce Young in the queue. We don't have to draft him for a long time. We have to put Justin Herbert in the queue. Get our stacks, right? We need the stacks. We don't know what the bringbacks are going to be for week 17, week 16, all that good stuff. We don't know that yet. So no way to know. Let's see if there's anything that's happened that's been interesting. I'll have a little Garrett Wilson. I just don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I don't love the have they hired an offensive coordinator yet? Did that just completely Hackett went to the Cardinals? Let me look this up real quick. Frank Reich, that's right. I don't love that, if I'm being honest. Frank Reich. So Odunze goes right next to Christian Watson. That's insane. Christian Watson, I suppose the ceiling is high in best ball, but man, oh man, has he been inconsistent throughout his career. And 5th round feels it feels rich. So McLaurin, we're 6 picks away. Probably going to be looking at wide receiver, although yeah, we're probably not going to get a quarterback. Probably looking at wide receiver. Maybe we go running back, wide receiver, but we definitely want one of the picks to be a wide receiver. And all these rookies are just sitting there. And I think that they're pretty comfortable clicks at this stage. So, and there's 3 of them there. I mean, take your pick. Which one do you think is going to get the highest draft capital? I happen to like Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, and then Jordan Tyson in that order, but it's very close. Hell, we might even get a couple of them with what's available on the board right now. So yeah, let's go get Carnell Tate. And yeah, the running backs I don't really like anymore, so we could probably wait and maybe go with 5 or 6 of them. Just get a bunch of different options later. So both of the wide receivers that I wanted go off the board. We have 13 seconds. I better put. I mean, does Marvin Harrison Jr. have a chance? I don't know. Let's get Cortland Sutton before time runs out. There we go. So I don't love that pick, if I'm being honest with you. I was tempted to take Marvin Harrison there. But man, it's interesting that him and Michael Wilson are very, very close. Marvin Harrison has an ADP of 66. Michael Wilson has an ADP of 72, according to Underdog, as we are recording this on February 6th, 2026. So there you go. And so I like how this is shaping up. Now we probably need to look running back, and Herbert is definitely going to be in play at our next pick because his ADP is around 80 right now. That's going to be iffy if we get him or not. And I mean, Bo Nix, I guess, is in play now if he hasn't been taken yet, and he hasn't been. So that could be a fallback plan now that we got Sutton. So I do like that. Man, I like Ricky P too. I should have scrolled down. Scroll the F down. Let's throw him in the queue. Ricky P. Gosh, where's Mike Evans going to play if he's back? I would assume he's probably back with Tampa Bay. I don't know. But man. Man, oh man. So we have Ricky Pearsall, Michael Wilson, they both come off the board. I like Tootin. I'm probably not going to get him. We're 5 picks away. We have Bashul Tootin in the queue. Are there any other running backs? Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, Let's look at running back. Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, you'd think that the Patriots would hand more of a role to Trevion Henderson, whose ADP is. Where did Trevion Henderson go in this draft? In the 4th round. I do like Tootin. Okay, so Herbert's gone officially. Our next pick. Okay, so we're on the clock. Tootin, I'm going to let this clock play out. Our next pick is going to be at 107. So I think we need to grab Bo Nix now. I'm gonna go Tootin. I don't love doing that, if I'm being honest. Where's Trevor Lawrence? Lawrence is probably already gone. Yeah, let's get Bo Nix. So we got a stack. We had to reach for it, but we missed out on Herbert. We get the stack with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. We have 4 wide receivers just barely through 8 or 7 or 8 rounds. So by the skin of our teeth, I think this will likely be just a 5 running back build if I had to guess, and then probably I think Bo Nix gives us the option of just 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Just so we can be flexible there, but we're definitely going to have to stack up wide receivers. That's going to have to be a priority for us for sure. And then probably looking at 3 tight ends in this build too, I would imagine. So we have to go 2 quarterbacks and just Bryce Young and Bo Nix. I'd be cool with that. But this is definitely a build where I'm going to want just a bunch of wide receivers because we do have some good upside with McMillan, McConkey, Tate, and some stability with Sutton. So it's not a bad group. I just want to strengthen that because we're definitely banking on Achane, Genty, just destroying. And I think it's one of those builds where we can get away with 5. And again, since we let off the draft with 2 running backs. All right, looks like I need to scroll down. Looks like I need to scroll down. So this is 20 rounds. The little one is 20. Just like the other ones. Again, drop a like, click the subscribe button. Best ball in February. It's nothing better. Drafting teams. Oh, it's so exciting, man. And we're just gonna it's a slow build all the way till August. That's when all the casuals hop in the pool. And they order their gin and tonics like we've been here the whole time. See, we're cool too. I'm not even sure what kind of a reference that was, but or analogy or whatever the appropriate word is. I'll tell you this. I am not a fan of Denzel Boston, and I don't care who knows it. I'll probably be very, very underweight on him in Dynasty, in Best Ball, in just about every format. I'm not a fan. And same thing with like some of these rookie, like taking Jadarian Price right now feels expensive. Feels very expensive. We're gonna have to throw some wide receivers in the queue here because we have 1 stack already. We could go super stack, get the coke heads on the train with McMillan. I kind of like that actually. So I think this is probably going to be wide receiver. Although I do kind of like Jonah Coleman or Tyler Algier as well with this pick, or with these couple picks that we got coming up. So let's see. Do I like some of these? Yeah, I kind of like some of these wide receivers a little bit later. Yeah, let's go Algier. And man, we really could get away with 4, maybe. But then we definitely have to get a wide receiver. Jonah Coleman's a good pick there too. That's I think that's really good. And why not? Let's get Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's not do the super stack because we don't even know if we have the stack yet. And paying that much for Jalen Coker feels expensive. So we went Wan'Dale Robinson, Tyler Algier there. And then we are going to be looking at probably at our next pick, looking at Bryce Young, and then probably calling it quits at quarterback at that point. Just for this specific build, we really are probably going to hammer at least like 9 wide receivers, I would think, because I think we're going to do minimum 5 or maximum 6 RBs, probably just 5, because I think we can get away with that. Tight end, what are some late round tight ends that, I mean, depending on where Njoku lands, that could be nice. Eli Stowers is a guy, I know rookie tight end is always tricky, but Eli Stowers and Kenyon Sadiq, I mean, they could make real impacts in their rookie year because Sadiq's probably going to be a first round pick. And, you know, if the Niners take him, I mean, there's so many teams where you look at where they're positioned in the draft, like the Rams. I mean, I don't know if the Rams are, I mean, I know they took Terrence Ferguson last year in the second round, but if they decide they want more of a high impact tight end, and that would be awesome. Same thing with the Bengals. Like if the Bengals decide they want Kenyon Sadiq, that would be pretty high in the first round. But I suppose they could always trade up. I mean, I guess the Bengals never really trade in the draft, but you never know. It's kind of setting up. This might be our tight end round. We'll see. Kittle, I don't have much of an interest in Kittle as Brenton Strange does come off the board. Just because in Achilles for a guy who's in his well into his 30s, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel good. So never mind. I think all the tight ends that we would be into are coming off the board. Goddard, Ferguson, we're 1 pick away. I'll throw Sadiq in the queue. I don't hate that at this stage in the 11th round. So we're officially on the clock. Let's go with Booty. I do like his upside. Yeah, let's go Booty and then Bryce Young if we can get him on the way back, and then we're calling it quits at quarterback. Because this guy's already got 1 quarterback, so I doubt he's going to take another one. So he goes Dobbs or whatever, and Stroud. So we're going to get Bryce Young. So we got our stacks. We got Tetero McMillan, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton. I feel good about our RBs and wide receiver. We're just going to play the volume game. And then at tight end, we're definitely going to have 3 tight ends on this roster for sure. And we're going to go late round tight end hunting because that's the way I like to play. Let's look at the late round tight ends and just see what we got here. I mean, Mason Taylor's interesting. Eli Stowers, like I said, could be an impactful rookie, although that's really risky. We could go, Jatavian Sanders really super late. I mean, that would be a stack with Bryce Young. I mean, how do we feel about a Mark Andrews bounce back? I mean, Seattle also could be in the Kyle Pitts market because they have a ton of cap space, and I don't know how they feel about Andrew Barner. I mean, honestly, there's a decent amount of these tight ends like Schultz, Hawkinson, and Njoku. I mean, it's like maybe it sounds gross, but like if we could get like Schultz, Njoku, Eli Stowers, I mean, what's the difference between that and like Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry, Barner? I mean, I don't know. It feels like there's some decent values that we could get at tight end, so I don't mind waiting. So we have a few of those guys in the queue. So let's Njoku, Schultz. Likely could get a good landing spot. You never know. That's a gamble. Throwing these guys in the queue right now. Really just upside shots. And I think Likely is a good upside shot to take for sure. Same thing with Ayuk. We're going to throw Brandon Ayuk in the queue. Current ADP, 143. We would get him past ADP. Rashid Shaheed would be a good best ball pick. Pat Bryant could have some upside. So there's just stacking a lot of these wide receivers that have some upside. There goes Brandon Ayuk. Pat Bryant, we'll throw in the queue. I don't really feel any pressure to get a tight end right now. But, if it happens, it happens. Troy Franklin, because these wide receivers are just they're not pretty. We're 4 picks away. It's like we're looking at wide receiver Pat Bryant, Josh Downs, Jalen McMillan, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Surratt, who I do like, Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chimere Dike, Tesla, Trey Tucker. Man, it did dry up quick at wide receiver. So let's get Pat Bryant. I do also, that's a double stack with Denver. And then honestly, so Kyler Murray. Honestly, I think if we get Downs and then we can just keep pushing tight end, because my next pick would be, I mean, we also could get stuck with just the worst options ever. 179, 182. That puts us in range. So let's okay, so Downs goes. Let's be boring. Judy. Did we get him? Yeah, we did. Okay, so Judy, I hate that pick, honestly. Like, that was a panic pick. So we got 8 wide receivers, no tight ends. I do like the Pat Bryant pick, though. I think he could have a lot of upside next year. And stacking the double stack with Bo Nix is nice. Judy, oh man, I honestly should have probably picked Troy Franklin. What an idiot! What an idiot I am. Let's throw Theo Johnson. Yeah, I mean, we might even go 4 tight ends if we're only doing 2 quarterbacks and we're almost done at running back. Like, one more running back. We could have also looked at Braylon Allen there. Ooh. Or Aaron Jones. Might not have been bad. Let's see, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be our 5th running back? Oh wow. Caleb Johnson. Do we even dare to take chances on Caleb Johnson? I say, why the hell not? Caleb Johnson. Let's look at Caleb Johnson. He is currently 206 overall ADP. I kind of like Dylan Sampson, where he's going right now. 185 overall. Aaron Jones, same story. I mean, he's under contract with the Vikings as far as I know. I can look that up right now. This is good podcasting. Looking up contracts. Yeah, he signed a 2-year deal, but they could probably get out of this, right? Not really. I mean, they could, but it'd be kind of dumb. $14 million cap hit. $6 million or $6.8 million dead cap hit. So he's probably going to be with the team, I would think. Although that offense isn't spectacular in any way, shape, or form. And that's weird to say about the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell. I mean, what do they do with JJ McCarthy? Like that's the $1 million question. But when you're drafting these teams right now, you can get, I mean, this is kind of actually ridiculous for Aaron Jones if he does end up falling to our pick in the 15th round. Like, I mean, really, I mean, this is, let's see, we probably have to scroll down here. So we're 4 picks away. Aaron Jones and Jonathan freaking Brooks are the 2 running backs at the top of the ADP. And I would assume, Joe Mixon's probably going to be back with the. I know that he did not handle his injury situation well, but he signed a 3-year contract. I guess they can get out of it pretty easy. He only had $2 million dead cap hit, so he's probably history. So we are on the clock. We could. I think we're going to grab our tight end. I think Isaiah Likely is a good bet. Good upside swing to take. And then I honestly like Dylan Sampson as our 5th running back. Although we don't need him. So Hawkinson and Njoku. Who do I like better? Probably take this upside swing with Njoku. So for waiting as long as we did on tight end, getting Isaiah Likely and David Njoku, passing up the 5th running back there because I think there's some options later on that we can take a flyer on, like a Caleb Johnson or maybe even a Tank Bigsby, Nicholas Singleton, although that's probably not going to happen. I mean, Najee Harris feels kind of gross. Yeah, once you get past 200, it gets pretty gross at running back. I kind of want Eli Stowers to be on this team. This feels like a Stowers team. I kind of like Eli Stowers. I want to be overweight on Eli Stowers. So there you go. That's my nice little tidbit pick of Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, who is currently in my queue right now. It would not be the end of the world if we just had 4 running backs on this team. It'd be kind of stupid, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Keaton Mitchell would be a nice 5th running back to have. Tank Bigsby also. Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is low key. Like if we take a look at, because this is, I should just title this episode, Seth looks up contracts. Seth looks up contracts. Is he still on his rookie deal? Let us see. Yes, he is. And he's an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Probably not the greatest best ball pick, Brian Robinson. So Keaton Mitchell does go off the board. I'm telling you, Singleton, I'm going to be overweight on Singleton too. Because he's one of these running backs, former 5-star recruit, broke out as a freshman. I think some NFL team's going to be higher than you think on Nicholas Singleton. They're going to see the traits, the talent, the upside, and they're going to take a bet on that. And we'll see. I'm thinking this is probably the round where we get our RB5, and then we call it a day. I'm currently. Is this the Eli Stowers round too? Do we have to take? No, we don't have to take Eli Stowers here. All right, so Bigsby goes. Gosh, all of our running back dreams were just shattered there, to be honest. Like, that was not good. All right. And Marvin Mims. So, God dang it. Let's take Brian Robinson. I don't love it, but it's an RB5. So we're officially done at running back. And is there a wide receiver? Maybe Kyle Williams. I think I like that. Maybe Omar Cooper Jr. I think I like Kyle Williams here. Going with Booty and Kyle Williams. I like targeting that offense. So we're going to get a 9th wide receiver. So we have 2 more picks. One of those is for sure going to be a tight end. Hopefully it's Eli Stowers. Although I wouldn't hold my breath on him getting back to our pick. I mean, Evan Ingram wouldn't be bad as a 3rd tight end. Would not be bad either. And then the break glass in case of emergency tight end is probably Jatavian Sanders. But we shall see. And we might, let's see, it's well, not that you care, but it's 2:30. We might have time for another one of these. And then I got to go work out and pick up my kid. Doing content and being a dad. All right. Devon Vele comes off the board. Yeah, we'll just see how fast one of these fills. So it's just going to depend if we can do another one. But I do want to max this. It's the little board, so I do want to max this one out. And I'll do as many of these. Oh, there goes our Eli Stowers. Dreams are dashed. Ah. Damn it. Do we think that now that Mike McCarthy is in charge, I don't think Mike McCarthy was a big proponent of the tight end. So I think Evan Ingram's going to be our 3rd tight end. And then, I mean, then what's the other pick going to be? I mean, is it dumb to just do 2 quarterbacks in a 20-round league? I don't like any other quarterbacks. I mean, there's not really a running back I like. I mean, Devin Neal potentially. Let's see here. Yeah, let's throw Devin Neal in the queue. Isaiah Bond. We're just in Puke Town. Brazel, I don't like Brazel at all. Jalen Knoll. I mean, in the 20th round. That's not a bad pick. I don't want Bateman. I want Knoll. There you go. Is this stupid to have 10 wide receivers? Let's just do it. I don't like any of these running backs. And then we're going to get another tight end. So I don't know this build. There's probably no history of this kind of a build working out. The old 2, 5, 10, 3 build. But we're going to try it. We are going to try it and see what happens. I don't hate this team. Actually kind of like this team. So we are going to share this screen now, and I'm going to move myself back up here. Yada, yada, yada. Update that. Close the board. So as you can see, Bo Nix, Bryce Young are our quarterbacks. Devon Chain, Genty, Bashul Tootin, Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson at running back. Tedero McMillan, Lab McConkey, Carnell Tate, Cortland Sutton, Wandell Robinson, Kayshawn Booty, Pat Bryant, Jerry Jeudy, Kyle Williams, Jalen Knoll, then Likely and Njoku and Ingram as we waited as long as we possibly could at tight end. And I do think we have time for one more. So let's get out of here. I'm done waiting on these people to make their 20th round picks. Let's enter. Let's do that. And let's see. We're waiting on 10 people. All right. Maybe we won't do another one. I don't know what'll happen. I'll wait here and filibuster for 3 to 4 minutes to see how quickly these are filling up today. And granted, this is in the middle of the day on a Friday. So we might have to call it if we don't see if we don't get filled relatively quickly. And I might just pop back in time here. We might time travel. Actually, I think we are going to time travel. So you won't know it, but 3 to 4 minutes will have passed. Oh, now we're down to 9 people. So I'm going to go upstairs, getting something to drink. You won't even know it. That's how crazy it's going to be. And we'll be right back. And we are back. And as you can see, as you might have guessed, that there's another draft here that we're going to do. So we are at what pick do we have? 6. All right, that's different enough. Because I don't like doing these when we got, similar picks. I like to be. Oh, let's not do this right now. I don't know why I click record and then try to do something on my phone like an idiot. Don't need these either. All right, we are picking at the 6th spot. Let's go ahead and open up the draft board. Make it full screen. There we go. And again, let me know if you let's move me down. Let's move me down here. And let me know if this is something, if you want to see the draft board like this in full. I don't really know of a better way to do it with how StreamYard has kind of a. I mean, I guess I could look into OBS. I know a lot of people do that. So we got Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs. In our last draft, CeeDee Lamb fell way, way down. So that's probably what we're going to be looking at. I'm having a hard time thinking that we are going to get JSN at the 6th pick, which is kind of wild. That you could get McCaffrey. Oh, we're gonna get Chase or JSN. We're gonna get one of them. Who's it gonna be? What if we have our choice of the 2? Then what will I do? It's gonna be one of these guys. All right, so it's gonna be JSN. And I'm loving that. And McCaffrey I had really no interest in. I mean, I have a little bit of McCaffrey, but he touched the ball 413 times, which is the most he's touched the ball in his entire career. And when you go back to the last time he had that much of a workload, he wasn't the same player for 2 seasons. Because the following season, which was 2019, I just looked this up for a dynasty video I did, and he doesn't have the time that he had in 2019. I mean, he's going to be 30 years old. In 2019, he touched the ball, I think, 406 or 403 times. The following season, he only played in 3 games, and then the season after that, he only played in 7 games. So, yeah, I do not like Christian McCaffrey whatsoever. I think the same rule that applied to Saquon Barkley applies to CMC this upcoming season. Either they're going to have to really lower his touches, and he wasn't the most efficient rusher at all. I think he averaged under 4 yards a carry, one of the lowest marks of his career. Now, he was effective in the passing game, so if they want to bring in a plotter who can just take the in between the tackles carries, then maybe that makes sense. But that's going to limit his upside if he's not touching the ball. If he's only going to get, 250 touches as opposed to 400, that's obviously a huge difference. So anyway, so at the 206, let's see, could this be our first Jeremiah Love team? That would be cool. There's 4 guys in my queue. Well, 3 now that Omarion Hampton's gone. I suppose Trey McBride could be a decent consolation prize. And I don't know about you guys, but George Pickens in the second round feels very, very, very rich. Very rich. George Pickens ADP of 22.6, according to Underdog. So McBride goes. Neighbors. I mean, if Neighbors is there, we have to take him, right? In the middle of the second round. Man, Jeremiah Love goes. This is going to be a wide receiver start because we're going to get either London or Neighbors. And I would prefer Neighbors, but we'll just have to see what happens here. We're going to get Neighbors because Nico Collins just went. So Neighbors, we go Neighbors, JSN. London goes immediately following our Neighbors pick. He didn't even think about it. He didn't even think twice. We're gonna put Brees and Bucky in the queue to get a running back and Kenneth Walker. So this is a completely different build than our first draft here. So we're probably gonna have 6 or 7 running backs right off the jump. We don't necessarily have to take a running back here. I just like the running backs in this range where we have like Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, Bucky, Brees. I really like Brees. And Derrick Henry is still available as well. I wouldn't mind Tedero McMillan, T. Higgins. There's a lot of questions about A.J. Brown, where he's going to be playing. Everybody seems to think he's going to be on a different team. I don't know about that. If you just look at the contract situation, it kind of looks like it's going to be A, tough to trade, and B, tough for another team to take on that money potentially. So let's go Brees. So obviously taking Brees Hall there, we're kind of hoping he winds up in a much better situation, like the Commanders or someplace like that. A return to the Jets would be probably worst case scenario, and that would probably put him as a 4th or 5th round pick if I had to guess. But I do think if he winds up with the Commanders, he could be, taken at the 2-3 turn, maybe up into the second round. So I do feel good about taking Brees there. And then I just don't, taking Somebody who's really popped up the rankings is Colston Loveland. And I'm a Bears fan. I know the Bears better than any team in the NFL. I just don't know what the case is for that. And I get it. He had a great season. He had some great games in the playoffs. But if you think about this has to be based on, are they going to keep DJ Moore? Because Colston Loveland in the 4th round, where's Luther Burden going? 4th round? Yeah, Luther Burden at pick 46. I mean, likely not both of those guys are going to hit unless DJ Moore's off the team. So that's what the market's telling you right now, is they think DJ Moore is not going to be a member of the Chicago Bears in 2026, which is possible. I mean, he has the highest cap hit on the team, but man, it feels rich. It feels really, really rich. I'm going to throw Scatabo in the queue. Scatabo and Trevion Henderson. So maybe we are going to be stronger at Enigbuka at running back than we think here. He's getting Brees in one of these guys because we're 2 picks away. Let's see. And this guy has 2 running backs. So he goes Zay Flowers. I would love to get Scatabo. So Scatabo, Henderson has probably the most upside. I took Scatabo in another draft. Let's go Trevion. I would assume, Ramondre is going to be there next year, which sucks. And they've kind of shown us what the workload's going to be for a guy like Trevion Henderson. So, yeah, he's signed all the way through 2028 and is dead. The dead cap hit's not bad. $8 million for Ramondre Stevenson, but the upside case for Trevion Henderson is what we're banking on here. And now we have to get busy at wide receiver. So I don't mind taking one of these rookies, to be honest with you. And Rome, I think, is going to be a nice 5th round pick for somebody. RJ Harvey can make a good case for him, but we probably should go back to wide receiver. Our stacks aren't going to be until a little bit later. If we want Dart, that's not going to be for a little bit later. Although I do think Dart is a little bit high for my taste. So Harvey goes, Quinshon goes. A lot of good wide receivers, I think. And I think wide receiver is the clear pick here. Where's Caleb going? Okay. Let's we don't know who the Miami quarterback is going to be. I assume it's going to be Tua, I would think. So that'll give us another stacking option later. So let's go Waddle. And I assume no Tyreek. So that's going to be huge for Jalen Waddle. And that could make him a steal in the 5th round, as opposed to somebody like Rome Odunze, who's going to have to potentially contend with Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, and maybe DJ Moore. But for sure, Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, right? And he might be the 3rd best pass catcher out of those 2. In fact, the market's kind of telling you that in these best ball streets. They're telling you, yeah, we like Burden. Burden has more upside in best ball than Rome Odunze, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So JSN, Neighbors, Brees, Trevion Henderson, Jalen Waddle. I like it. I'd like it even better. Let's see if we can wrangle in one of these other high upside players. I would love to get one of these rookie wide receivers. Probably not going to happen. Because after I would say Ricky Pearsall. I mean, it kind of dries up at wide receiver if you ask me. Just with the upside case that you can make for some of these guys. So we are 4 picks away. Is there a case to be made for Brian Thomas Jr. bouncing back? I don't know. I honestly, I'm probably not betting on it. I'm probably going to have a dash of Brian Thomas Jr. We're 2 picks away, and I'm kind of pulling for Mekhi Lemon. Kind of pulling for Mekhi Lemon. 1 pick away. Let's see what we get here. I mean, if we don't get Mekhi Lemon, I suppose we could pivot. So Marvin Harrison Jr. does come off the board. I didn't think I'd be here choosing between Mekhi Lemon and Brian Thomas Jr. in the 6th round, but here we are. Could also go Ricky Pearsall. In fact, I think I will go Ricky Pearsall. I like the upside of that pick. And Mekhi Lemon, who knows what's going to happen, what situation he's going to land in, kind of plays a specific role. And now we have 4 wide receivers, a couple running backs. We could throw Tootin in the queue. I took Tootin in our last draft. I'm happy we got a couple running backs because I do not love we'll probably have to get like 6 or 7 of them. I don't love the running backs once we get past probably pick 120. I mean, Trey Benson is at 140-ish. And then it's just kind of, you're taking upside swings at guys. So Mekhi Lemon lasts all the way to the 612. So we're probably looking at Tootin or Dart. We're probably looking at another draft where we just pass on tight end. And I'll also throw Darnold in the queue. So Tootin is gone. No, we don't want Mendoza. So it looks like this is going to be the Dart pick. Let's get our stack. And let's throw Kyle Pitts up here. I like Kyle Pitts. His potential in free agency is good. And he's kind of in, I do like Jacoby Myers. Where is Trevor Lawrence? There he is. Although it's going to be tough to stack those two, just with where their ADP is currently. Would like to get another running back at some point. I don't want to fall too far behind the 8 ball. I do like Algier where he's going. Hold on for 1 second. Might have to delete some stuff on StreamYard real quick. Not enough space. So recording so much stuff. So we're 5 picks away. Jacoby Myers, Herbert, both of those guys come off the board. So so Lawrence, that we knew we probably weren't going to get him. Mike Evans is still available. I mean, kind of feels like we should pass Kyle Pitts, our tight end option there does come off the board. I mean, I think there's a good case to make for Tony Pollard here. Algier as well. I'm just not digging the wide receivers. Pittman, DJ Moore. Let's go Pollard. Pollard will be the lead running back in Tennessee, I would think, because he signed that 3-year deal. Yeah, I mean they could get out of it this year, but he's under contract there for another year. I don't know why they would. He's not a huge cap liability, and they don't. It's not like they need cap space, so I think they would keep him. He's probably. I mean, I would make the case for Tajay Spears, but here, let me fix this real quick. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. So Algier would be another person that we would be interested in, although we do have three running backs. But we did make the investment in wide receivers early in this draft, so I don't hate it. But DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, both guys that I would be willing to take a swing on. Xavier Worthy as well, just for his upside. 4 picks away. And then, yeah, I think wide receiver, if we can snag like Addison or Worthy, I think both of those guys, then it kind of, so it's probably not going to happen because it looks like, it goes Jordan Addison. So Addison goes the pick right before. Yeah, I don't mind taking Algier here as kind of a fallback. So let's take Algier. I like that. I think there's a good chance he lands well. I think he's a really good player. So we have gone 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs. I would argue, wide receivers still our strongest position. We got a quarterback as well. So we're still looking at probably 6, 7 running backs in this build, I would think. And it just kind of depends on tight end. I'm not real huge on Gadsden. He fell off at the end of last year, and the Chargers have a ton of cap space, so they could be another team that goes, well, we might want to do something about tight end. They don't have a ton invested in him, but I will admit that if they don't make a move at tight end, like if they don't bring in a Kyle Pitts or they don't draft somebody high in the draft, then Gadsden's, I mean, how far is he going to shoot up? Maybe a round or 2. But if you take him now and they do make a move at tight end, then it's just the bottom falls out, which is why I don't like that. I love the offense. I mean, I'll probably get a dash of him, but I'll probably be underweight as a whole. All right. 5 picks away. Don't love Denzel Boston, but I have to acknowledge that he's probably of value at this point. I do like Jaden Higgins. Khalil Shakir, Chris Godwin, will he be back 100% healthy? Who knows? Will Green Bay decide to use their first-round wide receiver in year 2 a little bit better than they did? Who knows? I don't love it. It's kind of meh at wide receiver right now. But Golden probably has the most upside out of all these guys at his current ADP. Because we know Jaden Reed. We kind of seen what Jaden Reed is. He's kind of a part-time player. I'm not opposed to taking another Running back. Let's go Jonah Coleman. So we have 5 running backs. We need to get busy at wide receiver here quick. But I do think that the wide receivers that we have in the queue, Golden, Higgins, they might be there on the way back. And if not, like I could throw in Casey Concepcion, who could be a first round pick. Kayshon Boutte, Romeo Dobbs is a free agent. Travis Hunter has a ton of upside. So there are other ways of attacking this wide receiver spot. And then we probably want to look at, let's see, 123. Oh, sorry. I should have scrolled down way sooner than I did. That is my bad. So Hunter goes, Dowdle, Coker. Yeah, I'm a little bit for this particular team. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it that we're a little bit underweight on wide receiver. We're just going to be banking on the wide receivers that we do have scoring a bunch of points. JSN, Neighbors, Waddle, Pearsall. So this, I'm really pulling for Jaden Higgins here. Shakir and Jaden Reed, like the ADP just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So Jaden Higgins does go. Gosh, that hurts. Let's just take Darnold and get our quarterbacks. That had to be the Darnold pick if we were going to make the Darnold pick. So we have Darnold and Jackson Dart. And honestly, if I want to play fast and loose, then I'm cool with 2 quarterbacks. And we can just go crazy on wide receiver because we're going to need to. Yeah, I just don't love falling behind this far back at wide receiver. We're just going to load the queue with wide receivers. So we have our stacks. We have Dart, Neighbors, Darnold, JSN. I'll throw Shaheed in there too as another potential stack, but like it would be awesome if we could get Concepcion. I doubt we do. Boutte would be a nice pick for this team. Dobbs, I mean Brandon Ayuk would be a nice pick for this team. We're just gonna see. We're 6 picks away. So Connor comes off the board. And again, we are pushing tight end. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq, man, that would be tempting as well. But we really got to get busy at wide receiver. I mean, at this point, Concepcion's a huge value. I mean, he's a little bit undersized, but he's probably going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft, and he returns punts as well. So I think that tells you that he's going to get a decent amount of run on an NFL team. So Dobbs comes off. So we're going to get one of Concepcion or Boutte and McMillan. So I'm gonna just take the plunge on Concepcion as our 5th wide receiver. I think that there's a lot of upside with that pick. We get him after ADP. I like it. Now, if we could get one of these other wide receivers like Boutte or Ayuk or Shaheed, Pat Bryant, that would be what this team needs. Or Kenyon Sadiq wouldn't be bad either. I don't know if I want to load up too much on rookies, though. We have Jonah Coleman, Casey Concepcion, and Sadiq would be our 3rd rookie. but I do like Sadiq a lot. So we'll just have to see if we're kind of getting to the territory where the wide receivers are, not great. So Emmett Johnson, Trey Benson. I would prefer this to be a wide receiver if we could make it happen. And I think just to be different, I would probably want Ayuk. We're one pick away. It's going to be Ayuk or Kenyon Sadiq, and we're going with Ayuk. I think that's a good upside shot to take in the 13th round, especially on this team. He's not going to be with the Niners next year. That much is for sure. And I mean, hopefully, he winds up in a situation like the Commanders or something. And obviously the worst case scenario is, he doesn't play football again because he's a knucklehead and nobody wants him on their team. Obviously that would be worst case scenario. But it's the risk you take for the upside. I mean, he was an awesome player, in moments, and that got him paid in San Francisco, but you have to be a little bit better in terms of work ethic, in terms of, being able to get along with, the play caller and whatnot. And yeah, it just didn't happen for him. So far we have Dart and Darnold at our quarterback, Brees, Trevion, Tony Pollard, Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman, JSN, Malik Neighbors, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Casey Concepcion, and Brandon Ayuk. We are 6 picks away, entering the 14th round. Click the like button. Click the like button. Sorry, my brain malfunctioned there for a second. It happens from time to time. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Fair warning, I will be dipping as soon as this draft gets over with because I want to crush a workout. Then I want to go get, I have to go pick up my son. So we are in the 14th round. We're going to be firing these picks off like there's no tomorrow. I do like the RBs in this range. Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen. I mean, we have Brees, so probably Aaron Jones. But if we're banking on Brees goes to a new team, then we could get 2 starting running backs potentially, assuming the Jets don't add there. But we also have Pat Bryant still on the board, which I like him quite a bit. But I don't know if we could pass up like a Aaron Jones at this point either. So Aaron Jones is on the board. Braylon Allen also available. Let's just you know what? We need wide receiver. I'm not messing around. Pat Bryant. So that puts us up to 7 wide receivers. It makes me feel a little bit better, especially getting Ayuk, Concepcion, a lot of upside with him as well. And Pat Bryant, I think, is somebody who Sean Payton wants to feature in the offense. So I like that quite a bit. And tight end, here we are yet again at tight end, just completely pushing the position down. I wouldn't mind Kelsey. Schultz, likely. I mean, we're kind of looking at the same group of guys that we were looking at in our last draft. So we're 6 picks away. I mean, who knows? This could be the tight end round where we finally cave on tight end. But I'm telling you, if one of these running backs is there, I mean, I would probably sprint to the podium to take Braylon Allen at this point. Let's look at what other running backs are available. Rashad White, Kamani Vidal, Joe Mixon, Dylan Sampson, I think, is a good pick because we aren't sure about Quinshawn's injury. I mean, that was a pretty gruesome injury. So Joe Mixon comes off the board. So we're on the clock, and I kind of feel like it's stealing with Aaron Jones. I mean, I assume he's going to be a running back for the Vikings this year, the starter. So that kind of feels like stealing. 11 picks after ADP feels good. It was between him and Braylon Allen. And who knows, maybe we get some of these tight ends to fall to us as well. Maybe AJ Barner, Stack, Kelsey, Likely. I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to wait until the very end for your tight end. Don't think that's bad at all. Let's put Sampson in the queue. Bigsby. We could do with one more running back on this team, probably. We have 6 right now. So Barner does come off the board. We're probably going to get, if we get any of these guys, we're probably just going to get one of Kelsey, Likely, or Schultz. And I think out of all those 3 guys, Likely probably has the most upside. Kelsey's probably the safest pick, assuming he plays, which is that's kind of a big if. Let's see. Oh, this could be a good Stowers team. Yeah. 3 picks away. 3 tight end. I think this has to be a tight end round. Like if we pair Kelsey with like Stowers and Evan Ingram, so Kelsey's gone. So we're gonna get Likely or Schultz here. Let's go Schultz. We picked Likely in our last draft, so let's go Schultz to be different. Maybe we get lucky and we get Likely on the way back. Probably not, but you never know. Mason Taylor also wouldn't be horrible. He was playing pretty well before he got injured, so I wouldn't mind that. We have Stowers, Freiermuth in the queue. Chigakonkwo, I think he could take a decent step up, assuming he's still on the team. Okonkwo. I think he signed a contract. Again, Seth's contract hour review. It's riveting stuff here. So, Okonkwo, he is a free agent. So we'll see. I mean, I think it would be great if Tennessee brought him back. I think that'd be great for his fantasy stock. Schultz. I mean, there's really no quarterbacks that I'm even remotely interested in. Okay. So I think Bigsby's a good pick here. Yeah, let's go with Tank Bigsby. Let's wait on. And that'll do it for us at running back. And then we're for sure getting 3 tight ends on this build. And I need to scroll down, don't I? I've been horrible about that. Apologies. So these last 3 picks, 2 of them have to be tight end minimum. And then probably wide receiver, if not tight end, wide receiver. Yeah. I think Mason Taylor would be good if he gets to us. Freiermuth wouldn't be bad. Stowers wouldn't be bad. Like Schultz, Freiermuth, Stowers, possibly Evan Ingram as well. Evan Ingram, I think, is too low. Because Evan Ingram in that offense, I know that he didn't really perform this year, but he signed there for another year. Sean Payton's system isn't like easy to learn, so who knows? Maybe it clicks in year 2, and at the end of in the 20th round or whatever. I think it's a fine pick to make. I have Taylor queued up. Jacoby Lane comes off the board. One more pick. And we're going to go with Mason Taylor as our tight end 2. Just kind of swinging for the fences. Eli Stowers. Again, we miss out on Eli Stowers. Gunnar Helm could be the potential starting tight end for the Titans. Maybe. So one more tight end. Probably looking at Freiermuth or Ingram. Hell, maybe grab them both. I don't know. I'm really content with my wide receivers, running backs. So we're gonna get Muth here. Did they extend him as Seth's contract hour continues? Yes, they did. So I like that. Yeah, and I think because we only need 2 quarterbacks. We could go 4 tight ends if we wanted. I always like Jalen Knoll at the end here. Devon Bailey is not a bad choice either. But 4 tight ends is not out of the picture, out of the question. So Evan Ingram does get picked. So that does change things at least a little bit. Are there any tight ends that I would? Not really. I mean, Ben Sinnott. I mean, I don't think. I mean, Zach Ertz is probably. Yeah, they have John Bates there. I just don't. I think we'll stick with 3 tight ends. I mean, a Conquo could land somewhere that we like. Chris Bell is a nice rookie to take in the 20th round. Noel gets taken. So I think with our last pick, Chris Bell from Louisville. Come on down. So we went with the 2, 7, 8, 3 build. A little light on tight end for my taste, but we do have 3 of them. So there you go. Let's recap the team real quick, and then we'll get out of here. So we got Jackson Dart, Sam Darnold at quarterback, Breece Hall, Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman, Aaron Jones, Tank Bigsby at running back. Well, hold on. Hold the phone here. I am not even on the right screen. Let's get to the right screen. There we go. So we got Jackson Dart, Sam Darnold, Breece Hall, Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman, Aaron Jones, Tank Bigsby, JSN, Malik Neighbors, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Casey Concepcion, Brandon Ayuk, Pat Bryant, Chris Bell, Dalton Schultz, Mason Taylor, Pat Fryermuth. Thank you so much for watching. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, be good, everyone. We will see you later.